Setting some settings right quick, guys. Good morning. Let me clean y'all off right quick. I just noticed y'all look a little. Wow. There you go. Gotta make sure y'all stay clean too. Good morning. We are with another screen, guys. Another screen. And we got some info for you. We always got info. It's always something going on. It's always something going on. And as we are going, I'm going to the control room, guys. Please don't think I'm not going. I'm going to the control room right now. We got some information. And first we got to do our disclaimer. I hope your weekend was good. I hope it was safe. I hope you come in for a little bit, get a little higher education, as we in my career field are just under attack, man. It's just not getting prettier. Day by day, it's not getting prettier. And those professionals out there who are a little scared, I'm with you. So let me go to the disclaimer. Disclaimer. The videos presented here are for informational purposes only, and therefore, if you are to choose the institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at that institution that you are interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution. Speaking on behalf of creator, Henry is only speaking from his experience. Let's rock out. Oh, got it that time. I almost said it. Let's rock out. So, first things first. Remember us talking about the University of Virginia president being pressured to leave? So we found out, and we got the news. It was breaking news at the time, that James E. Ryan is out as president of the University of Virginia. He was ousted by the Department of Justice pressure, the Department of Justice pressure campaign. They reported it. New York Times reported it on the Department of Justice pressure campaign to oust him. So Ryan sent a letter of resignation to the university's board of visitors by Friday. The board had accepted it. Ryan, who has served as University of Virginia president since 2018, said he'll leave the post by August 15th, which is literally in almost a month. We can almost say a month, pretty much. It's almost July, right? And so we gotta make sure Ryan is right. Make sure we do this right for him. So James E. Ryan had a quote. He says, "I am inclined to fight for what I believe in, and I believe deeply in this university." He wrote in his resignation letter, "But I cannot make a unilateral decision to fight the federal government in order to save my own job." So because I'm going through this with you all too. And now they're saying right here, put simply, Republican critics of higher ed have bagged another scalp. Ryan joins a list of high-profile presidents and presidential candidates, including Liz McGill, if I said that name right. Oh yeah, Claudine Gay. Claudine Gay is, that was Harvard. Claudine, if I said her name right, Claudine Gay. She was the Harvard or Yale. I believe she was Harvard. I know it was one of them Ivies. When she got out. Yeah, she was Harvard president in that little scandal that happened 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, I think was it really just a year ago when this happened? But Harvard President Claudine Gay, she had resigned a month after intense scrutiny over alleged plagiarism spanning her career and controversy around her lackluster appearance before a congressional committee. Let's see if I said it right. I remember Googling it. I was like, ooh, I've been doing pretty good with words though. I've been getting pretty good because I'm saying these words more often now. At first, I don't say it's pretty much like law, as I keep saying. Pronounce. Let's see. Cool.
Congressional.
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 Congressional. Am I saying that right?
Congressional.
Congressional. One more time.
Congressional.
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 Congressional. I feel like I'm saying that a little slightly off from her because my voice is a little deeper, but congressional. So yeah, she had to. Claudine Gay had to go before the congressional committee, and then from what I remember, it didn't go well. I just know it was a topic in graduate school. I don't know. I felt like it was a sticky situation. But to stay on topic, they said he joins that list of her and the most recently Santa Ono, who was brought down by well orchestrated media savvy pressure campaigns. So this is nothing new with presidents. Unfortunately, this is nothing new. Presidents keep getting in trouble over it's like sticky political situations, I would say. Granted, they do make a lot of money to be in these situations. They should have an idea how to navigate them. If I'm just talking, it's not really more of all. How does this affect the student? Most of all, that's the real question, right? This president James E. Ryan. Let me jump on that. He was still doing DEI efforts, from what I'm not mistaken. And as I said before a little bit, I know I don't talk about it a lot, so it should be in there if you did watch the stream a little bit. He was supposed to stop doing DEI efforts. All colleges that's public at least and rely on federal funding or state, depending on your state, if your state supports DEI, you're supposed to stop. If your state doesn't support DEI, you're supposed to stop doing DEI classes, DEI, pretty much anything pertaining to DEI. If it's related to it, even if you're trying to change the name, they're supposed to stop immediately. He didn't want to stop immediately. He didn't even want to stop. He kept doing it. I'm not saying like a bad thing, but he kept doing it in the eyes of the Trump administration / Department of Education. And so they also said that, now granted, it wasn't just the federal and state, it was a team effort. So it said, as I scrolled down and I went to the bottom, they said this was led by the alumni. Where are the alumni at? It said right here, the council didn't reach a wide audience, but it reached the right audience. The feds. 2 Department of Justice lawyers, both University Virginia alumni, took up the charge to take Ryan down, the president. They said Harmit K. Dillon, I would say Dillon, probably said it wrong. It's spelled weird, but it looked like Dillon. A Trump loyalist leads they know that. So Harmit K. Dillon, a Trump loyalist, leads the Justice Department Civil Rights Division. She signed, or Harmit, I think I said her first name right. She signed an April letter demanding that University Virginia's produce proof that it had pretty much got rid of all traces of DEI. Gregory W. Brown, Dillon's deputy, has ties to the Jefferson Council. He demanded on several occasions that the University of Virginia remove its president as a condition of closing the department's investigation. Let's read that one more time. They said Dillon deputy has ties to the Jefferson Council. He demanded on several occasions that the University of Virginia remove its president as a condition of closing the department's investigation. So in order to close the investigation, they removed the president, and so bring a new interim president in who will get rid of all DEI things. So if your school was, everybody, whoever watched this knows about DEI. It is no secret. It's under the civil rights. And if you plan on going to a college, if you plan on going to a university, college, and you knew the one reason you went there was because of DEI efforts, and you found out they're taking away the DEI efforts, it can be misleading, right? You went to this school because you wanted to feel, you were hoping to be around people that can look like you. From my knowledge, once again, DEI is not my realm, but this president got pretty much ousted, kicked out because he wouldn't get rid of DEI. And so it's like, you just have to really take some ownership. Not the president, but you as a student. Because students really, I'm going to tell you, students really, if you are a student, you know why you're going to this school, hopefully. You should at least know why you're going to a school. Besides the University of Virginia, all schools are doing this. They are all getting rid of DEI. And at least temporarily in this current administration. So if you want to go to a school where you want to be included, because DEI is for all minorities, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe it's just for one demographic. It should be for all, because diversity, equity, inclusion. You really have to, once again, take care of yourself, man. You have to take care of yourself. In my lingo, my terminology, take care of yourself. Because if they want to take that away, and that was one of the reasons why you were planning to thrive or get ahead, allegedly, like, you just have to set the bar high for yourself. I can't stress that enough. I feel like when you try to use this DEI, it's good and dandy, as me and my one person, G, we talked about in the chat, and Alex Marie, as we talked about in the chat before, it started after we left high school. I say that because that lets you know my age. And so, or it caught us in college. I remember they were bringing it up. And I didn't really get a chance to, like, I guess, use DEI. I didn't really want to, personally, because I always set the bar high for myself. Like, now I'm waking up in the morning and make sure I'm screaming with you all. And that's a sign of, like, I got to set the bar high for myself. Like, who wants to watch a higher education screen? How does that affect me, right? And I always got to bring it back to it affects you because you take away. I really don't know how to say how DEI is going to affect you right away, but I can tell you right now that if you're feeling like your professor doesn't understand you, or if you're feeling like your professor is handing you coursework that doesn't relate to you, if you're feeling like this is not relatable to you, then that's a sign of it. Unless you're going to a school that's a PBI. I don't know if the University of Virginia is a PBI or a Hispanic Service Institution, Asian demographic, or Islander specific. I don't know if it is. But, I don't know if it's any of those. What I do know is that, like, it's going to be a little different. That's what I do know. And that president, he is gone due to, like, these people being in position. And you remember what we said. They telling you that they're trying to push a narrative, right? Because we're nonpartisan. I always got to repeat that. They're pushing a narrative that you shouldn't go to college. You can go get a trade. Right here, they just said Harmon Dillon, Gregory W. Brown are in positions of they work in the Justice Department of Civil Rights Division. If you don't go to college, right? If you don't have a bachelor's, you can't even get a position to keep your DEI. That's how fast it trickles down to your education. Like why you should go get a bachelor's. I don't think they went to law school to get a department civil rights division job, a justice department job. But you gotta have a bachelor's. I'm assuming. I would hope you got a bachelor's. You getting a job like that because I know today is all weird. Like you got people who are not qualified in positions. I know it's crazy, right? But you should have a bachelor's degree taking a job like this. And these people who are loyal to Trump and loyal to the other person who's the head of that department, they both went to the University of Virginia and they took down the University of Virginia president. Why? Because they were in a position to do that. And it all started because they went to college. Don't listen to a narrative telling you not to go to college. Like, literally, that's what America was built off of education and how they really got and found it, so called, I ain't gonna get into that part, but that's how they got America. That is exactly how they got America because they were more educated, literally. So saying that you don't need to go to school is just, please don't listen to that narrative once again because it always goes back to education. If you don't have the education or the knowledge to do that position, then it's going to end up happening to you. What happened to the University of Virginia president? They're just going to kick you out or oust you, and it's going to affect the students. It's going to hurt their enrollment probably, because it might not seem like it, but it is a very popular, I would say, incentive to the college. Like a lot of students go to school, a lot of parents like schools that have DEI. DEI is, I won't say it's not popular, it's very popular. And schools are going to suffer on top of that due to enrollments. Schools are already, once we go get into it, once again, we'll get into the layoffs or freezes because more states are taking money and more federal tightening. We already know federal is tightening, of course. And so when you take away the DEI, you take away the federal money, you take away the state money, you take away, then they're taking away staff because of layoffs. Then it's just like, it's going to be like college is really going to be, nobody's going to want to go to college right now or even work in a college right now. A lot of people are going to go to private schools and work. I know a lot of my classmates are going private now. They're working in private sectors for protection, of course, job security. People are going to different career fields. They might come back later after this administration. It's getting real crazy right now. Like your education might not, I'm not going to say your education might not be the best, but if you go to one of the blue chip colleges, like I always say, a Georgia Tech or MIT or Ivy, those schools are going to be good no matter what. But if you're going to like a state school, something like I went to, or any of the other state schools or small colleges, like 2 year gonna be good because they're not being affected. But like the small state schools, small university schools in your state, or that's in the middle of nowhere, those schools are gonna be hit the hardest, and that's not good for the other kids out there who they have to go to a school that's close, right? That's better for them. So we have to keep that in mind. And when the University of Virginia president, because they said they pressured him, but when it happened officially, I was like, wow. So now you're going to start seeing. Now, granted, this could have been a little targeted, but probably we might see more presidents have to leave unless they get with the program about not doing DEI. Because I know for sure some colleges are still doing DEI, but I don't really think the Department of Education has a task force going to colleges, like going to each college or have a plan to go to colleges and see if they're doing DEI still or not. I think it's more of a scare tactic, but we'll see. Because they have not been doing scare tactics. Everything they've been doing, they just been doing it. And nobody has been stopping them. So once again, I gotta say it. Like we saw this coming. Like besides the DEI, I'm not talking about DEI. I'm talking about more of the freezes, the all the loans, because students should not just be borrowing money. Once again, this is a 2 year to 4 year platform, and let me hydrate real quick, y'all. It's a 2 year to four. This is a 2 year to 4 year platform, and if you feel like you need to take out a loan to go to college, that is not the college for you. I have to reinstate that sometimes. Sometimes I don't feel like I say that enough, and it's important. It's you. It seems like it's not important because you just going. You like I'm just going to college. I'm just taking classes. It doesn't affect me. Like everything affects you, man. Even when you like, I heard it one time. Like even before we were born, things were affecting us, right? So it's going to affect you, whether you know it or not. It might not affect us now, but it might affect you definitely in 2 years. Like 2026 is really when things start kicking in with the new administration. And so, at least in a higher education perspective, let me stay there. Like your tuition is about to increase. Like they already increasing it now for this upcoming 2025 school year for 2025 2026. Can you imagine what it's going to look like in 2026 2027? Like I won't be in school no more at all, but I still feel for those students because we have to think these kids don't have jobs. If staff is not going to have jobs, stock market open. My bad, guys. If if staff and faculty are not going to have jobs, do you really think students are going to have jobs? Like it's gonna be harder to get work study jobs. Probably it's gonna be hard to. Well, work study might be good. 'Cause that's financial aid. But if you don't qualify for work study, it's gonna be hard for you just probably to get a part time or regular job at the college because I know a lot of students like to get jobs at the college because it's more convenient to just stay on the campus and then walk to class. That's more convenient and easy. And so a lot of kids are going to feel that, and then their parents are going to be like, you can get a job like somewhere else and da da da. But now we looking at a whole perspective, right? Where literally the Trump administration has said it's going to get rough. Like it's gonna have to be like a brief. Like you can look it up. They said it was gonna be like a. I think Scott Besant said it. It was gonna be like a brief recession. I don't want to make that put words in their mouth, but I'm gonna just look it up right quick. And technically, for my financial people out there who are heavily in the market world and stuff like that, they would say we're already in a recession because we had two negative back-to-back GDPs. So, but we had a soft landing. I don't know. That is a very stock market, economic debate with people right there because people have all their perspectives on in every different topics or genre. But so back here, NBC News said Trump downplays recession fears. Trump tells Americans they get dark in here again. That sun keep moving, guys, but y'all can see me. Trump tells Americans to be patient as global markets could get worse. That's when he did Liberation Day. So we don't really know, but I always say expect the worst because one minute everything can be going good, but then again, remember watch the Big Short. The Big Short is a great example of like what can potentially happen in the next years. And then for higher education, it's no different. You're just like I'm keeping you up with it bit by bit, right? And like boom, 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 leading up. If it really happens, like I do think I always felt like it was a higher ed bubble. I just didn't know like what would be the consequence if the higher ed bubble popped. Like I don't really know that much more to be like, oh, this gonna happen, this gonna happen, this gonna happen. I don't know. I just know like you can't keep borrowing money and not expect something to happen. That's just gonna throw the whole natural order off, right? Like something is gonna be not valuable. People borrow money not paying it back. That was the same way when the housing crisis happened in 2008. People was borrowing all the what is it called? They're buying all these subprimes and stuff like that. Remember, watch the Big Short. They know a lot. They can break it down. They were all borrowing it, had trash credit scores. Same thing in college. Like they just give you the money. They don't really check your credit score at college. And because literally people make songs and talk about it, like you get college loans and then they mess up your credit. So I really don't know what's gonna happen, but something is gonna happen. Something is gonna happen, and I really do hope that we are prepared. I really hope you as a person is prepared. I hope you got your emergency fund set to the side. Please have a job. Please get a job. If you don't have one, have a part time or full time. Just have one. Because the last thing you want to do is come to a big decision in life. You don't never want to make the wrong decision in life. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Like and subscribe. You don't ever want to come to the decision where you're making big decisions and you're forced to do something. Every decision should feel like, don't get me wrong, some decisions are going to feel forced. That's natural, but you want to feel like your decision was on time, not forced. So that was that on the University of Virginia president resigning because once again, with the loud noise outside, it's a big deal. And then one more thing, real quick. This is anything with numbers I like to talk about. It says the common thread is easy to spot an argument that prestigious colleges are too woke and their leaders bear the blame. At University of Virginia, Ryan, remember James E. Ryan, who was the president, he oversaw plans to drastically increase the number of students and professors of color. He removed Confederate tributes from campus and allocate $950 million to racial equity efforts. So yeah, he was considered too woke. He was, as you know, Republicans are naturally conservative, right? That's naturally Republicans. They want to go back to the old ways and old days. This president knew and stood on what he believed, which I respect, just like me. I'm standing on what I believe about higher education. He stood on what he believed about DEI and the disparity in racial efforts in America. And so you can't do nothing but respect it, right? As I tell people, when you want to be an activist, it requires sacrifice. When you want to stand up for what you believe in, it requires sacrifice. What are you going to sacrifice to believe in what you believe in? What you believe in, what you believe in. What are you going to sacrifice to do what you believe in? And so I'm not saying go broke. I'm not near saying that because that president made a lot of money. He had a lot of money before he got fired. Let's remember that. Be strategic with your efforts before you become an activist. I think you should really have a plan in place. Don't just jump off the porch and just say, I'm an activist. I don't need money. No, you need it. Now you can have people putting money into your belief in your campaign, but what happens when you don't do something, the people who are investing the money into your campaign or your belief, what happens when you're not doing what they want you to do with it? Or what they don't like what you're carrying out. They want you to do it this way. They want you to do it this way, not that way. So keep that in mind. Let's go to the University of South Carolina. This is what I love talking about. You know, DEI, man, you start talking about DEI, racial equity, things get a little sentimental. I want to talk about the University of South Carolina. You want to know why? Because University of South Carolina got one of the best girls basketball team out there. And guess what? If you go to that school, you from that area, you finna pay for all the fees. Yes, indeed. Yes, you are. So, I saw a LinkedIn post on Thursday. I think it was Friday, y'all. I think it was when we got off the live screen. I was scrolling, trying to get some more. I was trying to get some more articles for us, and I was trying to get some articles. I was trying to get articles, news, postings, because it's a lot of people out there who talk about the higher education ram like me, but and talk about like, hey, you finna bear the cost of this. Students shouldn't be like they be talking about it, but like I said, people don't care about higher education right now. People don't care about it right now. Why people don't care about it? Because it ain't making them money right now. We in a time right now where people, I'ma like the chat. Ain't nobody in here with me. They coming and they leaving, but I'ma love the chat because I love when nobody in here. Because when it comes to light, then they gonna be in here. That's how I see it. That's how I believe it. Yes, indeed. So, um, what were we getting at? We live in a time right now, people don't really too much care for higher education. People want to watch stuff that's going to change their lives right now. And that's respect. I get that. You want to watch something on YouTube that's going to change your life, like stock market, right? You want to figure out how to make some money and change your life. Education can change your life right away too if you unlock that in your head. Like you got to unlock it. And so University of South Carolina. Let's go. So they got a. So I went to the actual school website first and foremost. So the first post that I saw was on LinkedIn once again, and it says the shout out to Activate NIL. They don't have that many followers on LinkedIn, but it was a legit posting. They said the college, as college athletics enter a new era of revenue sharing, some schools are turning to an unexpected funding source, their own students. I said, oh, okay, this is a little interesting. Then they said the University of South Carolina is implementing a new $300 annual athletics fee to help offset costs tied to the upcoming House v. NCAA settlement. So everybody who's an athlete, or you know some athletes out there that play Division I basketball, Division II, and Division III, but mostly like Division I heavily. Um, there was a settlement between the House and the NCAA. NCAA been making billions off of kids. Literally, you can go on the NCAA website. You have to go. It's like two websites. Don't go to their sports page where you find all the scores. You got to go to their actual like NCAA website and look for like their physical revenue sharing model and all that stuff where it has all the balance sheets and stuff like that. You have to really go into that little area. And it should be public. And so pretty much schools were given like per school institution is gonna get like 20 million, I think. Something like that around that area to give out money to kids. And so $300 annual fee, you as a student got to pay a $300 annual fee for the athletes. So when you enjoying your March Madness, when you enjoying your college playoff football, when you enjoying whatever sport it is, you're footing the bill for it. And I know you probably don't want to hear it. You probably say, nah, that ain't true. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But it do. Because most people go to big schools usually. Most parents, like, if you got the money, then be my means. It don't apply to you. But it do. And so they're increasing that. Now I don't know if it's gonna be $300. They saying $300 annual fee. So that could be split up between 150 and 150. But I don't know. Because they could do 300. So that's why I said, hold on. Let me go to the actual website, the University of South Carolina. And then University of South Carolina said, hey, we got approved for our 2025-2026 fiscal year budget. Friday on June 20th. Very recent. That's like very recent. But on the bright side of University of South Carolina, they said they're going to hold tuition flat for South Carolina residents system wide while enhancing teaching, research, and the overall student experience. Cool. Great. That's good. They said USC, on the White College of USC, University of South Carolina, received historic support from state leaders this year with state funding for a new neurological hospital and rehabilitation center at the Bull Street district. They said tuition mitigation to keep the cost of attendance affordable and strategic investments in energy innovation and health science research. Hey, real quick though. Energy has been getting a lot of investing lately. Keep in mind, in order for us to keep using AI, they said we're going to need energy, or like more specific, nuclear energy. So if you are out there and you're looking to invest, disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor. Um, pay attention. Pay attention. You can get a lot of your answers about markets and like research from these colleges. Like a lot of things when I get information and research, I go to the schoolhouse because I'm in college. And they have some credible information that gives you leads into like articles. Because I'm gonna read the credible people first before I read the opinionated people who writing from their basement. Like not saying the people in the basement don't know what they talking about, because the people in the basement be spot on. So just a heads up on that. So as I keep going, the main thing I came in here for was the $300 athletic auxiliary fee. But right here it says, as I go down to the main ingredients, as I like to say, the meat and potatoes, it says this budget makes clear that as an institution, we are focused on priorities that improve the lives of our students while contributing to the health and well being of all South Carolina residents through service, research, and innovation. Westbrook said. I think Westbrook is the president. We'll come back to Westbrook. And I'm not talking about the NBA player Westbrook. Um, so they said additional budget details include thanks to tuition mitigation funds from the state and strong student enrollment and retention. See, when you have strong and retention rates, the money follows for higher education every time. And they said due to strong student enrollment and retention, tuition for South Carolina residents will remain the same for the seventh year in a row. Shout out to South Carolina, man. Shout out to South Carolina, man. Shout out to them, bro. 7 years in a row. They said the eighth year for our comprehensive institutions. Non-resident student tuition, non-students, so not non-students, but if you are a non-resident, like I said, if you are out of state, non-resident and out of state students always gotta foot the bill, man. I don't know why. I don't know why. So if you are out of state student, your tuition will increase by 3%. Or yeah, your tuition will increase by 3%. On the Columbia campus, undergraduate tuition will remain $6,300. Well, as I would like to say, 63.44, but $6,344 per semester for resident students, while tuition for non-resident students in Columbia will total 18,000 or pretty much 19,000 per semester. Whew! Do not go to school out of state. Please don't do it. 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 Like, I'm gonna be honest with you though, 6,344 per semester is a lot. We are going to, at the end of our video, we are going to review University of South Carolina. Why? Because their girls basketball program is pretty good, really good. Don Stanley. Uh, so why not review this school, right? But 6,000 per semester is crazy, but you got to make your money. They been doing well with these prices. I can't fight them on it. I wouldn't go there personally already. That's too much money per semester. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'm just writing down this note. That's what we're gonna do at the end of this video. I mean, the end of this live stream. Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. University of South Carolina. All right. We got some views. We got some views. If you are in here, I appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe if you're in here for a little bit. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. So, one more thing. So, they said to keep pace with inflation, costs, and housing operations and food. So, as I talk about, guys, I did research in graduate school about this. Um, your housing, if you stay on campus, your housing and your meal plans, but most of all, your housing. Fun fact: your school, your college school raises, like they change the price in housing based on the competitors on the outside. What I mean? I mean, so if you decide to stay off campus or you're considering staying off campus versus on campus, because your school can change the housing prices to try to make you come to school on campus with them. Because I know it sounds a little confusing, but they changed the prices. Like the housing will fluctuate the prices in order to make you stay on campus versus staying off campus. And as we know and we talk about, wages have not kept up with everything else, pretty much. Like your wage has been stagnant a little bit, might go about 1 or 2%, but inflation is going up by like 50 to 60 or whatever like that. Um, for my economic people out there, they'll be gladly to say it in the chat if I can pull some professionals into the channel. And it's that's really what's happening. And so in here they saying to keep pace with inflation costs and housing operations and food, the budget includes a $233 increase in housing average day and a $96 increase in meal plans for the fall 2025 semester. This represents the smallest increase for these fees in 5 years. Housing and food services are auxiliary services that do not receive state funding or operate do not receive state funding for operations. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know at least they say. I didn't know that they don't receive state funding for the housing. That's interesting. And so schools are using their money to fund these housing options because some students really can't stay on. Some students really can't. Some students don't have homes. I get that when they go to college. So they provide housing as an option. Now, what I don't like is that students stay on campus because they just want to stay on campus and they live and they could be a resident. They just stay on campus to get the college experience. Get out of my face. If you talk about the college experience to me, I might laugh and I might say, ask anybody who got the college experience how much money they had when they left college. Since you're so inclined about money, and you might feel like I said before, you might feel my live stream does not help you right away, which is true. But I promise you, if you take the pathway that I'm asking you to take, starting at a 2 year bridge to a 4 year, and not going to party as much, instead pocketing that money back, getting a financial advisor, picking your financial advisor correctly, and investing your money while you're in college, that refund check you get in college or that money your parents are going to give you, take that money and put it in the market, or look at other investing opportunities while you're in college instead of waiting until you get out of college. Pick your school that's more affordable. It's the same thing. So people say I always hear they're wealthy. Every wealthy person you can name, they always say, when I say wealthy, I mean wealthy. Billionaire wealthy. They always say, I never spend more than my income. Even as they even say as an entrepreneur, they never spend that much. Why? Because that's what's going to drive them to invest their money. That's what's going to help expand their wealth or make life a lot easier. So, if you can do this in college and be cost efficient in college, like I'm talking about, because like I said, they just raised, University of South Carolina just raised the housing by $233. So that means every option you might choose for housing, from the lowest to the highest, is going to increase by $233. Keep in mind, rent, don't get me wrong, rent could go up by 50 to 100. They just increased every part of the housing by 233, and they probably going to have to increase it by next semester. If they don't, they're going to definitely increase it by the new starting year. They just increased the meal plans by $96. Then they just about to add on, as we about to talk about, this $300 athletic fee. Where my jazz music at? I gotta play my jazz music sometimes. It gets a little too quiet for me sometimes. Because They said right here the approved budget also includes a new annual $300 athletics auxiliary fee. If I talk to you, you sat in this live screen with me. Auxiliary is everything you pay for, and you better use every bit of it if you go into a big school. You better use every bit of it. So the $300 athletics auxiliary fee designed to continue. Let me turn it a little bit. Is designed to continue student access to athletic events slash ticket lottery. Address increased events slash program operating costs, and enhance the student experience across multiple USC supporting sporting venues. Enhancements will include student center and game activity and promotions, facility upgrades, and additional support for health slash safety staffing at athletic events. The athletics fee approved Friday will not be used for recently approved Williams-Brice Stadium renovations. Name is that a comma? They said the athletic fee approved Friday will not be used for recently approved Williams-Brice Stadium renovations, name, image, and likeness, or coaching contracts. So this means some schools do that. I gotta say that some schools do that. Some schools use your athletic fees to pay for, not pay for, or add on to like they said, they Williams Brice Stadium renovations. Sometimes your athletic fees or your fees from school pay for renovations at the stadium. Sometimes your fees might pay for the name, image, and likeness of the players at the school. Sometimes your fees as a student pay for your coaching contracts. They might not be your coach, but they're paying for somebody's coaching contract. So you have to keep in mind. This is just University of South Carolina, who's being really upfront, supposedly. That they're being really upfront about that. Because a lot of schools, I wonder, what do they do with the money? Sometimes I don't know if the money is going to the right places. I'll be real, I don't know. But what I do know is that they're raising this, like they're adding a new annual $300 athletics auxiliary fee. And they say it won't go for, like, they mentioned the three things is not going toward. But they did mention that it's supposed to help with, because, man, you got to remember, guys, y'all are not the only student. It's so many students, especially if we looked up the average attendance of University of South Carolina, like right now, which I'm going to use right now for this, because it's so important. The average, I'm going to say the average attendance, because I know they got that. They brag about stuff like that. The average attendance of University of South Carolina. Wow, I wasn't looking for fans. I'm looking for. Oh, my bad. When I say attendance, they think I'm talking about sports. Average enrollment or student attendance. That's what we want to know. So they say the University of South Carolina, Columbia has a total enrollment of over 38,000 students with over 28,000 undergraduates. So 38,000 students. Let's just say 38,000 students. Just 38,000. That's not a lot, right? 38,000 students. That's not a lot at all, right? But that's a lot. So they're going to increase your auxiliary fee by $300, or they saying they're going to add a $300 athletic auxiliary fee, however they want to phrase it. 300 times, what he said, 38,000? 38,000 students. That's $11.4 million that every student is going to pay. Not every student going to pay 11.4, but out of all them students, it's going to bring in 11.4 million additional dollars. Let me correct myself. So that's a lot of money, right? It's so simple. 11.4 million, and I'm not mad at them for doing it. Like I said, I don't go there, but I'm bringing it to you, so you can make a decision. Like, is it right that they can do me like that and charge me $6,000 a semester? But that's why I say that's where it comes in for you to go see, like, are they giving you a good return on investment? Because this school has a $300 fee. They did the math, they ran it. They said, dang, they're bringing an additional $11.4 million. Dang. But they still charging you a lot of money to go to school. Now, don't get me wrong. As I like to say, don't get me wrong. School got to pay their bills. They got lights. They got to pay for that new stadium. They say, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I can believe them saying that. I don't know if I can believe them saying that 11.4 million is not going to help with. I don't know if I can believe them, man. They saying that 11.4 is not going toward the stadium renovations. That could change. Like, they might post it on the school website, but that can change. I'm telling you, from a person who do budgets, my own budgets, I know I restructure things and be like, we probably should do it like over here instead of here. So, but it's gonna make your tuition go up. It's gonna, cause they put all this in your tuition with mandatory fees. So when you paying your tuition, what I like to tell students is that when you pay your tuition, you're not just paying tuition, you're paying for the fees as well, which comes out of your financial aid when you do, if you are a Pell Grant student, or it comes out of your mom's pockets or your parents' pockets. Um, that's where it comes out of, and they have to pay that, and it's only going to get higher. So right here, USC to offer free AI tool to all students, faculty, and staff. USC got some pros in here though. They got some pros. They're saying right here they said USC is embracing the power of, not of, is embracing the power and potential of artificial intelligence by offering free AI tools to all students, faculty, and staff beginning this fall. They said through a $1.5 million partnership with OpenAI, USC's Columbia campus will become the first in the state to offer free enterprise access to ChatGPT, the world's leading AI tool for automation and content generation. So, yeah, that's no secret. I feel like if you embrace it and the instructor knows like you're using AI, the instructor can phrase it like, look, this is AI. So what are you doing here? And then now you like, I can't really use ChatGPT for schoolwork. So my advice to you all guys is like when you use ChatGPT, please, like, how can I put it? When you're using ChatGPT, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. When you're using ChatGPT, make sure you know the answer already, and before you use it, and then figure out how like you can expand on that answer, like, because I can't. Like I said, I ain't gonna speak on like I use it, but I use it for note taking a little bit. I'm not gonna say instead I don't use ChatGPT, but when you're using ChatGPT, because some schools are being up to speed and adapting to it. Just make sure you're learning before you use it. Make sure you go through the hard critical thinking, then figure out which ways you want to go. That's what I feel like it helps with. Because I write papers in my career field, not career field, but I write papers in my major. And so it's really hard to use ChatGPT when you're in this major. Like writing 10-page papers, 12-page papers, 15-page papers. That's kind of hard to ChatGPT that, because ChatGPT don't think like I think. For one, like talking about bridging to a 2 year to a 4 year, but really breaking it down the way I break it down. Eh, I don't want to get Chat all my skills and all my step backs. So that's University of South Carolina. Um, like I said, they froze the tuition first and foremost, but that auxiliary fee, I felt like that was important. The athletics fee, because you're footing the bill, and honestly, all students don't enjoy athletics. So to add a annual $300 athletic fee is kind of it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. as we we are almost on our way to an hour. It's like let's go to Stanford. Stanford is not safe. I need a little bit of water, guys, because I'm not having conversations and letting the chat talk because I don't have no chat today, which is okay. Which is okay. So, where is it? Stanford, you are popular today. As a hydrate. I'm sorry if y'all can hear that. So, Stanford. They said layoffs are coming to Stanford. I was surprised by this because if many don't know, Stanford is a private institution. But Stanford, I guess private institutions are being hit as well. Because like I said, just because they're private does not mean they're not receiving federal money, as we see with Harvard. So schools can still receive federal money even though they're private, but it's private schools are a little more they're being hit, but not as hard as public colleges. So layoffs are coming to Stanford. According to the Chronicles of Higher Education, the university will cut its operating budget by $140 million for the coming academic year. Not the worst, but not the best. It says according to the message from the president and provost of or to faculty and staff, some staff positions will be terminated. So like staff positions in higher education for y'all for some people who might not know, could be like your financial aid, that could be like your admissions, that could be a front desk person. It could be very essential positions. So hopefully they cut the right positions in my perspective. Hopefully. They say some staff positions will be eliminated. They saying also a staff hiring freeze will continue, and the pace of faculty hiring may be somewhat slowed. The leader said. So yes, this is nothing new. If you've been watching the live stream, there has been a lot of hiring freezes. As a person who's in this career field, I'm actually navigating myself to either pivot, hopefully get something, or might end up at a 2 year college. I don't know, right? Because it's really difficult, right? For me, at least in my career field, to land a job right now, due to everything that's going on. And so I know, right? It might be like, why did you da da da? You know, trying to get a job in this market right now, it's been tough. As any, I think, young professional, I think we're considered young professionals still. I don't know. But as any professional would say, it's tough trying to make a leap, especially when you're in your master's. It makes you feel like you went to school for no reason sometimes. It's completely normal to feel like that because it's always temporary pain. It allows you to open the door to something you didn't know that was going to happen. It might be painful, but something might come along the way. I can't guarantee what that would be for me in this situation, but something will come. I don't know what it's going to be, but a lot of us are going through a hiring freezes. So when a hiring freeze is when, if you are young watching this and you do play this back, a hiring freeze is when you apply to a job and then the job tells you like, hey, we're not hiring right now. Even though we got the job posted, we're not hiring right now. So, and then I think we all know faculty is your instructors, your teachers, COVID and teachers, like instructors. So if you see, you might see some slow grading actually, if I think about it, because some instructors might have to add on more classes, which is going to be a very big strain on them. And it's going to make a difference because if they can't bring in more help, then they have to double up the work. And so double up the work for not double up the work and not receive more pay is crazy, right? That's what's going on though. That's exactly what's going on. Higher education is known for doing that. So I went to the University of Stanford website to get more of this in action, right? To make sure I'm not mistaken what's going on. So they said the $140 million reduction in the allocation of the university's general funds at Stanford University They said the 140 million reduction in allocation of university general funds to support operations. So schools and units have been preparing for this reduction and will finalize their plans over the next several weeks. This number excludes the School of Medicine, which will identify its reductions in the coming weeks. I've been seeing that the School of Medicine and the university have been separate entities. I've been noticing that a lot. And so they said the School of Medicine at Stanford will like, hey, this is what we're going to start cutting. This is what we will be cutting versus the actual university. And so it ain't safe. I actually thought private schools would have been safe. Like even though I know Ivies were being attacked, but I at least thought privates because private schools like they charge so much money. Like private schools easily like a Stanford probably charges like 6 grand a year to go there. No exaggeration. If not six, it's gonna be like 50 a year. Like these schools are very expensive. Like the University of Southern California, for example, USC, they're private, but they charge like I think that school is a 6 figure school. No, I think that school is 96 grand for 1 year. Now I want to look it up again. I'm gonna look it up after this. USC by year price. Because I'm not mistaken. I don't know if USC was 96 for the year or was it 96 for one. Yeah, 96 by the year or 96 for the whole 4 years in college. We'll see. But we stand on Stanford. And so Stanford, what else they have in here about cutting? That is not. They talking about endowment, which will increase by 2.9% this year. We've been talking about endowments. I don't talk about endowments that much because the endowments are definitely related to the financial aid realm. They all relate together a little bit. Have to learn a little bit more. Here's something for us. They said the budget plan includes a number of additional elements. We will focus capital and facility spending on the most and or externally funded projects. The staff hiring freeze continues, as we just said. We expect faculty hiring to continue a little bit, they said, but it's going to slow up. They said, although the pace might be somewhat slowed, we are planning a modest salary program for faculty and staff to reflect cost of living increases. Like, yeah, cause you gonna either way, it's tough, man. Like when I say it's tough, it gotta be tough. Like as a if you are a leader in the school, vice president, director, because I just don't see like it's already hard that you're barely getting by. But I just know, for example, like Stanford is in California, Silicon Valley is out there in Cali. Cali is a very expensive area, right? We all know Cali is a very expensive area. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Appreciate the like we had just got. I had just looked to my left and I seen it. But we know Cali is a very expensive area, and these schools, like we already know they can't hire. I know I said it a little bit. We know they can't hire. We know they're doing cuts. Imagine you trying to get a raise. And I go back to the university president. So I go back to the execs. They seem to be the only ones getting raises and hiring presidents, firing left and right, and people on the bottom and the students can't catch a break. I keep saying that. They can't catch a break. Students and the lower tier people who work day to day with students, it's gonna be like really bad because these presidents make millions of dollars, if not millions, multi-millions. And the only ones who don't make millions as presidents or execs are like smaller schools. So they don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. And it's wrong. Like sometimes that's why I was like when I was talking about the University of South Carolina, like they have an average student enrollment or average student population of 38,000, and they're going to increase. They're adding a $300 athletic fee, which is on my calculator 300 times 38,000 students, that's $11.4 million added to their revenue. So, and then they mentioned like where the money won't go, but they didn't mention like, oh, this money won't go to execs for raises. This won't go to university presidents for raises. They didn't mention that. They said it won't go to NILs. They said it won't go to college contracts. I mean, college coaches contracts, and it won't go toward renovations in their new stadium. So I guess it's gonna go everywhere else. I'm just saying, like when they bring in new money, they're giving raises to the wrong people who don't need it. And imagine if they could cut. I'm always gonna say it. If you cut back on the salaries of some of those execs and those presidents, my goodness, that will open up some room. I don't know how much, but it'll open up some. So they have to pay these people, man. Higher education should at least, because you're educated, like just the same way you pay the president of the college and the execs, you should at least pay the lower people 50 grand minimum. It is robbery. For example, like some schools here in Atlanta. For example, Atlanta is a city. And you say, oh, you don't have to live in the city. Exactly. It's still the Atlanta area in general. Even if you stay outside the Atlanta city, it's crazy. I see salaries in higher education at my school, Georgia State, for $35,000. My city, where I'm from in Columbus, Georgia, don't even have salaries for $35,000. If that's their way of saying, hey, we don't want people living here, please let me know. Please let some people know. Because $35,000 salaries is crazy. That job should stay posted. I hope nobody applies to that job. You are losing time and money. And the job is full time. These jobs be full time. Then they say 42,000. Then they say it it's crazy out here, guys. It's crazy. It's wrong. In higher education. I can't speak from the other industry. Higher education, they're crazy and they're wrong. They're crazy and they're wrong. But I can talk about the school because I go there. I'm gonna talk about any other school, but I can talk about them a lot more because I go there. And so, yeah, they need to work on that. I don't know what they doing. I don't like it though. And tell them how I feel. I really don't care. Personally, it's all opinions. My opinion don't affect nobody, right? Shouldn't. So, that's Stanford, and that's pretty much it. Stanford, having those layoffs. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything with Stanford. And then it's more though. I just said, I can put all the headlines in there. And so the University of Washington shelves. Is that it? No, that's not the one I want to talk about. So two schools cut their athletics due to what's going on. I talked about this school a little bit. For all my people out there in California, this school is called Sonoma State University. I hope I said that right. Sonoma State University. They said, I talked about them on the last live stream, but they had got some money from the state of California, and then it was supposed to do long-term funding solutions for the athletics. They're supposed to allocate this money, right, to keep their athletic programs. And I had just said, if I was you and you went to this school and I mentioned this school, please don't stay at this school. I told you need to leave and go to another school because that school is hanging on for dear life if the state is giving them money. But it says rather than receiving any of the 11 teams, they said something like, it says for athletics, long-term solutions for athletics, rather than reviving they said rather than reviving any of the 11 teams the university eliminated in January budget cuts. Meanwhile, what y'all mean? They said, but the university leaders say that money will support long-term funding solutions for athletics rather than reviving any of the 11 teams the university eliminated in January. I guess they said January then budget cuts. I guess in January due to budget cuts. They should probably put that, but okay. But then it's another college right here. Brian, I'm gonna put it in the chat for my people out there because I might pronounce that. I might butcher that one pretty bad. Some of these schools have the craziest names sometimes. this college right here, like Brian Athen College of the New Church, if I said that right. They said, or it's near Philadelphia, and they said they will cut all 11 of its athletic programs. The college has fewer than 300 undergraduates, fewer than 300 undergraduates. It's a very small college, I'm assuming, and has been warned by its accreditor. They said they've been warned by their accreditor. So, I mean, I think they're about to lose their accreditation, which is not good for that college. I put it in the chat for my people out there. Um, you don't ever want to lose your accreditation. That's terrible. And so, one more. Is it one more here? I noted. I try to use things that's gonna help you guys. I'll try to use things that's gonna help you. It's a lot of more information in here, but I'm like, that really doesn't help with a student right now. So, started a 2 year, bridge to a 4 year. We're going to review. We're going to do our last one. I don't think it's really going to be a long screen. And let's see if anything's been posted. Oh wow, it's 10:34. It's 10:34, guys. Time has been moving. As I try to see if any articles been posted while we live stream before we do our last thing, where we review a college. That's what we do. We're gonna review University of South Carolina. That's gonna be our last school today. I seen it said Department of Education posted something. Let's see if it's. They're talking about 4th of July. All right, this is something I think related to us, guys. They said credit scores. This is about unusual whales. They are pretty fast. We get information. They said credit scores will start to take into account. Credit scores will start to take into account the hundreds of millions of loans tied to the pay later option at checkout. Uh-huh. Let's see what they talking about. Pay later? Is this about student loans or just loans? Because I think they would have said if it was. Let's see what this about. Oh, okay. Choose and buy now, pay later is gonna start hitting y'all credit scores. That's not related really to student loans, but it's related to loans. And then they're talking about the story we just talked about. So we're not getting nothing on it's usually Department of Education and then post on there. And then yeah. And then LinkedIn is always LinkedIn. Hold on, guys. I think I'm about to talk about something. One of the most. Oh man, this lady talking again. I don't know. That's a chancellor at the University of Minnesota, guys. I follow on LinkedIn real quick. I appreciate you standing here while I read that real quick. And she pretty much talking about. So she's the chancellor. I will not name drop unless you're getting fired or you say something really crazy. It's so Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, right? If anybody's out there in Minnesota, College, Minnesota, you get call like Lil Yachty. So Minnesota is raising their tuition in like the state of Minnesota, and more specifically, the University of Minnesota, it's like burgundy red and gold school. They are raising theirs by a good bit of percent. But they're trying to say, the chancellor, she speaks on behalf of the college, she is saying that we should shorten the degree plan, and that will make college more affordable, which is, you still like, yeah, because you get out faster, I guess, but I'm throwing my hands up, I guess. But they don't have a real reason why they're raising prices. That's the main thing. If anybody really follows higher education and you're not listening to these boomers, per se, these boomers don't know what they're doing. Straight like that. They only thing they have is like they just been doing it for a long time and they don't really know, because in their time, they might not even be boomers. It might be like 50 and 60. I don't know if that's a boomer. I don't know what generation that is. But they grew up with the boomers. They were raised up in a time where, hey, my wage, things were cheap, and my wage actually matched that because I could pay for things. They grew up in that time. They grew up in that time where I did it too, but we had to break it down like a science. There's some more brick by brick to break it down, because they didn't have to really be strategic. Like, they can go to a real nice university and it didn't cost much. You can work a part-time job, like real part-time job, and pay for school, everything you need. You didn't have to worry about no other things. Like, you can work a part-time job now. That's what I'm trying to tell people now. Like, but you just gotta stay off campus. They were staying on campus and everything back in those days. So they can't justify why they're raising prices. And Minnesota and all the rest of these states and colleges, they're raising tuitions, where universities more specifically. If you are a student watching this and you're getting ready to enroll in your fall 2025, which is coming up on a month, if you want to make a last minute decision, you better go to a 2 year. Your life depends on it. Not exaggerating. And if you plan on going to graduate school, physical therapy, law school, OT school, whatever school, you better start at a 2 year. Because what I tell people is like, look, if you want to be a physical therapist, for example, it's on my mind. Start at a 2 year, become a physical therapy assistant. Take the money for being a physical therapy assistant and let that pay for your way in your university. You ain't got to work. You do not have to work full time, guys. There is no rush. Why? Because you're trying to be a physical therapist. I'm gonna be honest with you. My brother cousin, he was in physical therapy and he was in there with people who are older. He was in there with people who was older. It was people, of course, who were younger. It was people who was older. People don't ever talk about that part. And so people think they have to be young, knocking out big time schooling. That never registered in my brain, because nobody's gonna ask. I never asked a doctor what year they graduated from college. I never asked a professional, what year did you graduate from college? I asked you what college you might went to, but I'm not gonna ask you when you got it. They say, oh yeah, that makes sense. You might ask somebody when they graduated high school, but you ain't gonna ask them when they graduated college, because it's like most people don't understand the college realm. So, like and subscribe. So you take the money for being a physical therapy assistant, and they make good money. They make more than somebody without a degree or some type of, certificate. Well, you really gotta get a degree with that. But somebody who don't have a degree, and you're gonna get set hours. That's the difference. People think, oh, I can work at a store. You can, but your hours ain't really how you want them. Like, when you work somewhere and you can pick your hours, and granted, they could be shifted if you are a physical therapy assistant. But you can pick your hours, should be set more like, stability. Like, that's one thing I wanted. That's why I used my associate's degree when I went to my University of Valdosta. University of Valdosta. That's not when I went to Valdosta State, and then I used my associate degrees to get a job. I had took a full time job. For many who don't know, I took a full time job working as a front desk person. I wasn't trying to really get nothing to take home, so I'm like, oh, put this in the filing cabinet. Oh, check the CRM, because older people don't know how to work technology like that. And so they telling me do all the technology. They really try to make me like an IT person. I'm like, I'm not IT. Turn your computer off and on. Oh, that worked. Oh, yeah. Woo. Computers need a break sometimes too. So that's why I say start a 2 year, guys. Use your associate's degree. Use that degree to pay for your job, not job, but pay for your schooling at your university. Then once you get your bachelor's, you use that job to pay for your master's. You do the same thing, you rinse and repeat. And then if you don't have the money, I don't get it because we started a 2 year now. You got to know how to budget to do this. You got to know how to budget. I can't stress that enough. If you're looking for a world where you think this is a channel where, if you think this is a channel where you don't have to have money and you can still go to college, you got to throw that out the window. Those days are over. If you're not paying attention to what the Trump administration is doing, what Linda McMahon is doing, they ain't trying to give nothing away for free. Nothing is free. I got a debt-free degree, but it wasn't free. I had to grind, sacrifice. No, hey, can't. I really wasn't playing the game like that. I couldn't play the game for hours. I couldn't go party. I couldn't. I don't really care to party, but I couldn't go party. I couldn't be out just lackadaisical. Like, you really gotta be with it, or you can just bite what they say back in the day, or you could just bite the bullet. You can just bite the bullet, take the 6K, take the 6 figure loan out, and then don't worry about it. You can always do that, but 4 to 5 years down the line, I like to play long. I don't like to play short term. I like to play long term. That's gonna hurt you in the long term, cause life happens. Then you want to start a family. You want to get a new car. You want to get a house. Like, ownership is everything. Equity is everything. And so that's one of the reasons why I started this live stream. If I'm just talking to you and being real, like I tell people, I have real life problems. I'm not having a perfect life when I get off this live stream. No, never would be, never the case. Like, I wasn't getting equity at my job. I wanted equity. I can't get equity because higher education doesn't offer equity. I want to have shares in the school, but they don't offer shares in the school. What that mean? If I got fired or laid off from the job, I want to know I got some stocks within there, but they don't do that. They wanted me. I said it before on the live stream. They want me not to care about my portfolio investments, so they can carry out their mission about. Don't get me wrong, we are helping students, but at the end of the day, now if something happened to me, y'all gonna make sure I'm good. Higher education is a treacherous sector, and I say it right now: if you are a higher education professional, K-12, you better start you a live stream. You better start something and get some equity for it, because higher education is $1 trillion industry that's not going nowhere. Yeah, we might have as we like to say in the stock market world, we might have a dip, a bearish moments, but it's always gonna go back up because education is value. It adds value. So we're gonna do this review, and then I'm gonna let you go because you have a life, and you don't want to listen to me talk all day. Who wants to listen to somebody talk all day? Not me. I'd rather read a book or something, or do something, right? So, what's that place called? University of South Carolina. Y'all not safe. Y'all not safe. Hey, like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Please clip me. Talk about me, bad or good, because if you talk about me in any form or fashion, people start hearing about me, then people come check us out on the live stream. So please, 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 clip me. Like, hey, even if you catch me like saying something bad, like you say something I don't agree with, like when I talk about DEI, you trying to frame me for saying something, hey, clip that and show people, because then that's gonna make them come over here, try to come at me, and then look, now we building a community. Be like, oh, whoa, whoa, that ain't what it is. They be like, what? They be like, no, 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 we just did that to get you to come here. Then they be like, oh, see, now we marketing them. Now we marketing. I'm just looking at the right institution, guys. University of South Carolina. Should be the Gamecocks, right? Make sure. I think that's them. Let me see if this is them guys. I never knew it was like, yep, that's them. Yep. That's them. Perfect. That's them. That is them. All right. And we're already on their school website, which is a plus. All I need to do is find their tuition and fees. So now, right now, I'm finding their tuition and fees, guys. Where is it? TUIT. Because now we got to fact check their prices. I already want to have that up. Because right now, public, city. So University of South Carolina is in the city a little bit. It's in the city. University of South Carolina is in the city. That's what they're saying. According to Department of Education College Scorecard. That's what we want. We always focus on undergraduate prices because, like I tell you guys, your how can I put it? Your graduate school is always gonna be a little more pricey. It's just gonna be pricey. But what I do tell people to keep in mind, for example, off the bat, before I start talking about the University of South Carolina, their tuition per semester for residents for in-state, we only focus on in-state because if you go to school out of state, you're paying like 3x the price, 4x the price. Don't go to school out of state. But what I do tell people is like, they're charging $6,000 per semester at the University of South Carolina, right? Now, I don't know. This school could be worth it. We finna find that out. Like and subscribe. $6,000 per semester. I paid $2,500 in graduate school. That's after undergraduate. In graduate school, I paid $2,500, and I don't even pay the whole $2,500. I have a little discount, scholarship, whatever you want to call it, discount, pretty much from the military. They pay like half of it, pretty much, and so I pay the other half. They pay more than half a little bit because I only got to pay like $888 of it, and the military gonna pay the other portion of it, and so that's expensive. $6,000 undergraduate per semester. You're looking already at tuition. You're looking at $12,000 for the year. I'm just saying. I'll go to a 2-year right away. Going to a 2-year. If you want to go watch they girls basketball games or males basketball games, football games or whatever, you could be a 2-year student and go to the games. Just get cool with somebody who's a University of South Carolina student. Let them foot the bill and you just go get the experience. Then by the time you get there, you like, man, I didn't win all the football games. I didn't win to all the basketball games already. So when you get there your junior, senior year, when you transfer in, I hope you transfer in, but I don't want you paying $6,000 in tuition. I don't want you to save your money. Like, you said, dang, that's $6,000. I can go to another university for like $2,000 a semester. And then you can say, look, that difference I would have been paying at that school if your parents don't pay for it. Look, you tell your parents, like, look, y'all just give me the $4,000, let me invest that. Or we get a financial advisor parents if they already got one. And then you start building your resume up, your investment portfolio. You're going to give it to a school that you got to make, you're going to have to get the connections. We talk about it in the chat sometimes. You got to have connections, really. Like, the price of the school you're paying for, I'm assuming they got the connections. I'm assuming. And once again, you can still make connections at that school if you be cool with somebody at that school. If you get friends that go to the school, imagine if you already have friends that are already your friend, but when they went to the school, now you got access to it, and you don't got to go to the school. Everybody don't got to go. I know it's kind of bad, like some of your friends could just foot the bill. But, just think about it, man. Just think about it. Please think about it. Because I'm about to get sidetracked, go on a whole nother tangent. So, University of South Carolina, that's that right? University of South Carolina, graduation rate is 77%. So the midpoint for a 4-year college is 58%. So they have a very good graduation rate. They have a C, almost a C. They just got a C. I'm gonna say C. They have a C rating graduation rate. It's out of 100% scale. So I graded like they used to do me in K through 12. If I get a 70, it's a C. If I get an 80, it's a B. If I get a 90 or 90 above, it's an A. You know. So they got a C average graduation rate. Now they saying the average annual cost I keep thinking it's Southern, but at the University of South Carolina is $24,000 a year. Is that right? A year, guys. We already said they charging us. They charging us $61.44 for rates per semester. They're charging us $61.44 plus. Where's the housing? So they got the technology fees in here. Da da da. Oof. Where the housing? Are they gonna include housing? We gotta go find housing. They never put the housing together with the tuition. Real good schools put that together, so we don't have to go across the world. Now, keep in mind, guys, you would have to do this if you was trying to go to this school or another school. I have to go find out why. I have to go find out why they're hiding this, and it's marketing. Because if you don't find the prices right away, you just say, "Oh, I'll bump it. I'll go to the school," and we don't want you doing that. It takes time. It doesn't take that long, but it takes a little time. I just type in housing on the school website. All I do is go into that search bar. Every school should have a search bar at the top. And all I do in that search bar, I type in their housing. Right here, it popped up. As soon as I said housing, it took me to their university housing. And don't get me wrong, it looks pretty nice. But this is another thing. Hey, this is another thing too with this housing. This is another thing. Before I talk about it, I'm going to say it and then somebody bring it back up if I forget. Because I think somebody just said something in the chat. I was not trying to share a bathroom with nobody. That's what made me get my own apartment or have roommates. At least when I had roommates, I had my own bathroom. I had my own space. Now I shared the common area, cool. I had my own bathroom. Now I'm gonna let you think about that. If you go to a college, I'm gonna let you think about that now, cause I ain't sharing no bathroom with somebody. I had to do that in boot camp, in tech school, but I wasn't trying to see. G just said that. I think. Oh, we got G back. G in here. G, G. What's up, G? Welcome, welcome. Hey, we got 14 views, G. We had some people stopping in with us. I don't know if that was you. That wasn't just you, was it? You just got in here, G? Because we got people that came in. They sat in a little bit. I was trying to poke them a little bit, trying to get them to say something, but they'll leave. And the weekend was good. Oh, okay, okay. I don't know who the other. You might be on 2 of your devices again, but definitely got 4 people in here. And so, my weekend was good. G, how was yours? I said that in the beginning. You know, I'll be thinking you be here in the beginning. I said, you know, I asked. Alice Marie, what you making that face for, Alice Marie? How long you been in here? You just not saying something when G got in here? So, looking at university housing, because we got to cut that when we break. You know, I like to post these. I've been clipping these at the end of the video to put this into a playlist. The university of housing. So, as I wait on G, because G usually, it was all right. Nothing too crazy. And then she said, "Mwahaha." Okay. Y'all crazy in the morning. I guess y'all like talking when it get about 11 o'clock. I guess y'all have to wake up a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't nothing too crazy for me either, G. I hung out with some family. And what else I do? I was editing. I did some editing. I'm not really that far behind on editing like I thought. I'm going to do some of that today. And yeah. Always good to hear from you. So, university housing. Let's look at the because once again, y'all, when we come back, I'm talking to the live chat because the live chat shows me support. Like and subscribe. If you haven't, like and subscribe. The live chat shows me support. I'll show them support back. It's worth, to me, it's worth getting off track talking to them because they help generate conversations. They went to college as well. So we have very good conversations. So if you want to be talked to and interact with us, come check us out. Or you can join us on the live screen and then you can just, be patient and we'll come back to it. So residence halls, they have a lot of, so we talking about the University of South Carolina, everybody. We breaking down the college. And right now we're looking at their housing to add in right now on top of their tuition and fees. Their tuition and fees is $61.44 alone. That's per semester too. So we're trying to see how much the average, like their lowest on the low end, we're trying to see how much their housing is. But right now it's kind of hiding. So for housing, you're looking at $100 application fee, non-refundable. And then they said housing fees can range from 50. So the housing fees are 50, 76. Like you got a technology network fee. I'm assuming that pays for the Wi-Fi. You got to pay for mail. Mail is crazy. I wonder if you pay for all this stuff in your own apartment. Got me thinking now. You got supplemental education fee. What is a supplemental education fee? Anybody know what that is? I'm putting that in the chat. Please tell me that's something that's valuable. He says G said that's a made up fee. I never heard of a supplemental education fee. I really want to know what that is. Like before I rant and talk about it, I'll just be like, is that something? Or that's just G said that's made up. Feel it. All right, so look, I'm gonna give y'all some game real quick. University of South Carolina, they ain't playing. They ain't playing. Right now, I don't even know which one is the lowest one. But I'm going to tell you right now, whichever building, because they got it by building, capacity, gender, and then semester. They have literally most of their buildings are co-ed, by the way, at the University of South Carolina. So if you a parent and you don't like co-ed, they co-ed up in this building, like just like real apartments. And man, the highest one, if you want to stay on 650 Lincoln, that's like the building. They got a 1 and 2 bedroom apart. It's like 1 and 2 bedroom apartment. But guess what? You're going to pay $7,000 a semester, and they put yearly on here. That's 14 grand. That's the most expensive one on here I see so far. No, it's another one. It's slightly above it, but that's like the most expensive. The lowest on the low end. On the low end is $3,459. And I said before, if you didn't catch the beginning of this live stream, I said in the beginning, they said they're raising all of their housing rates by $250. They're raising all of them by $250. So this is the University of South Carolina. Guess all winning all them championships ain't really enough to drop your tuition prices or housing. I guess. So remember, prices never go down. Remember that. They never go down. Housing prices or whatever, prices never go down. So if they told you prices go down, show me when they ever drop prices of anything. Prices go down in the stock market though. They do go down in it. So I'm gonna say on the low end with this 3,000, 34. I'm gonna just say 3,500. So 6,144 in tuition per semester. That includes fees. So plus we said 3,500 in housing. You already looking at $9,000 for one semester of school. We haven't included the meal plans either. They put that on a separate tab as well. So we know with meal plans, that's gonna run you about 2,000 easily. We gotta keep that in mind, guys. Like if I go find not housing, but meal plans, usually I throw in my little 2,000 because I know meal plans are always gonna be at least 2,000 or more in this economy and going forward. Wow, it's so hard to find the meal plan. It should have been like the first one. Let me see. So they said meal plans are gonna run you freak. Guys, y'all better hit that like, subscribe, because I am going through the trenches to find this stuff. So, all right, they have the meal plan details. Fun fact, they have them here. They're mentioning like, oh, we got an in-house chef, we got this and that. They showing you the low prices, but they're not showing us the yearly prices or nothing. And then they have it right here. Nope, that's not it. But it's not showing the price, what you would pay. And we all know about that, right? It's not showing us the price. And it has me looking crazy on the live screen because I'm trying to find it, but I'm pretty sure if I'm struggling to find it and I know what I'm looking for, I can't imagine a parent or student, right? So it should be, wow. Well, you know what I'm gonna start doing on live screen, guys? When I get the better equipment, I'm gonna start calling the colleges and I'm gonna be like, hey, I couldn't find your price on your meal plans. I'm a potential student, and y'all can hear the conversation. And I'm gonna say, what's your average price for the meal plan for the year? I'm gonna start calling them because they be hiding these prices, and we're just gonna chuck it up as Let me see if it's in here. Um, right? That'd be, yeah. I can't wait to do that. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna definitely write that down because I definitely be calling them when I before I started live streaming, of course. I used to call them because I couldn't find prices, and then they'll tell me like, "Oh, it's under this tab, but the price is da da da." I'll be like, "Hmm," and then just see their reaction and be like, "Would you pay that?" And you work there? I'm wrong. I'll be wrong. I'll be doing people like that. I'll be putting them on the spot. So we found it though. We found it, G. We found it. We found it. Alice Marie and G, we found it. So hold on right quick, guys. That's hilarious. So the lowest price they have on here is funny. We said the average price is 2,000. So I've been shorting myself because the average meal plan on here is 2,600. 2,600. And just to give my people out there some game on meal plans, you probably won't spend all your meal plans. So I'm not gonna be the one to tell you not to get one, but I am the person to tell you not to get one because most people be like, meal plan work for me. Look, even students at Georgia Tech told me why they told me this. Usually the conversation comes up because I tell them what my major is, and then when people find out my major, then they're like, what you're gonna do with that. And I tell them, I don't shy away. I tell them like, hey, this is what I plan to do with it. And then they start telling me like, yeah, cause my meal plan. They were like, my meal plan is this. I didn't even use all my meal plan. And they didn't even give it back. They didn't even reimburse me my money. They just, they kept it like, and it restarts the next semester. So be mindful getting the meal plan. It's helpful. Like if you need to get on the go, good food, because in college you're really busy, but try to get the bare minimum if you do. We got something from G. So the cheapest one, real quick, is 2,600. 2,600. So we got 9,000. As we fast forward the video, we at 96.44 right now for housing and tuition. This is per semester. So we're gonna add on the low end. You looking at 26. You're looking at 26.28 for a meal plan on the low end. So that's an additional. Hold on, what y'all did? Hold on, how'd that go back? Oh, you just did that. I'm gonna add my 61 because pretty much 62. I'm gonna just say 62. You looking at an average 12 grand per semester. So then I'm gonna say times 2. You're looking at 25,000 on average. That's an estimate. It says $24,656. And the average annual cost at The average annual cost, yearly cost at the University of South Carolina. Once again, where the girls basketball team are two-time back-to-back champions, if I'm not mistaken. You're looking at an average of 24,000. They got 24,000 too. Yeah, so it's accurate. It's accurate. But I want to keep in mind that's over the midpoint. That's over the midpoint average. So anything you pay over that midpoint average, you're paying too much for my economic people out there. If you're going over that midpoint, which is 19 grand, you're paying way too much for school, according to the College Scorecard, Department of Education. And G said something in the live chat. G said, okay, I missed a lot of things you were saying. I agree, prices won't ever go down literally unless they're forced, which will never happen. And the most you would get is what Texas did and pause increases. Yes, I had talked about that in school. They did the tuition freeze. And then G said for public schools, you should totally do that. Oh, you're talking about when I should call them and ask them the prices. And then he said just to see if they match anyway. And then G said, not gonna lie, when I was at Columbia, there were so many free food events that I had there were so many free food events that I had too many swipes left. I was just giving them away sometimes. It'd be so like college really has like, especially like G, because G said he worked there too. Like, and he went to Columbia, and that they do have a lot of free food events. Because what they do with that food, they will throw it away. If you don't get it in time, they will certainly throw it away. And you're going to have, I have not met one person in college that has used all their meal swipes. Now, you might think that you need those meal swipes, but you are going to be upset when you look back at it because you paid 2 grand for, if we really could break it down, like some real math wizards out there, man. And then G said, yeah, that was the best part. When my department put on an event, my boss went out of their way to get me the leftovers. Yep, that sounds about right. I thought that was just where I was at. They would get them leftovers, because I definitely did it for the student assistants at my recent job. I was like, hey, we got food back there. Because people act like they don't want to eat sometimes. I'll be like, hey, it's food back there if y'all want some. They go get it. They go get it. So, fast forward in the video, we recording, we editing. We talking about, so if you are removed from the institution for 10 years and you receive financial aid, financial aid, you were a financial aid student. They're saying you should make about 62 grand when you're 10 years removed. You should make about 62 starting now, or like that's the median earnings. And so you should be about 62 or more. I think that's pretty good if you paying all that money, because you paying 24 grand a year times 4. If you get out of school in 4 years, if the average student goes for 5 to 6, you looking at 98 grand for the year. So this is a 6-figure school. So this is one of them schools, not to mention if you want to study abroad or something. For all my people out there who want to do the big things in college, like, hey, not to mention that sometimes that's not free. So you're looking at 6 grand, not 6 grand, you're looking at 6 figures to go to college in the South. No offense to the South, but we're the South. If you're paying 6 grand to go to college, you better go work at a Fortune 500 company. That's all I better say. You better at least work there for 2 years or 3 years or something. 6 grand on the education, and I'm looking at you at the same job. You better, man. I'll tell you, sometimes some things I question, some things I just walk away. So as we go to the graduation and retention rates, we said they have a 77% graduation rate. They have a 90% students return after their first year, which is really good. And then right here for both, they have about 17% transfer in. That's too low, because South Carolina, I know for sure, has community colleges or technical colleges, and they should have more people transferring in. But shout out to University of South Carolina. They haven't increased their tuition in 7 years, they said, supposedly. So shout out to them on that. but they should really try to increase that transfer enrollment, which can bolster more students coming in and bring in more revenue. So they said students receiving federal loans is about 42%. That's pretty high, compared to like the 20 and 30% we saw. And then, yeah, the average debt you will have after going here, they said after graduation is about 20,000, about 21,000, pretty much 22,000. So it's 22,000 average debt. Like that's how much you expect to have on average. Is that worth it? I don't think it's worth it. No, me, Mr. Debt Free Degree. I definitely think you should take some different routes if you can. Now this is weird. This is pretty. This almost a C average. They said 80% of their students earn more than a high school graduate. That should be like 90%. I'm not liking that. I'm not feeling that. You're about to be a D today, University of South Carolina. You're about to be a D. 80%? I need 90% easily. 80? So majority of their students are this is interesting. Majority of their students are full-time students, 97%. They're saying 3% are part-time. I definitely would have been in that part-time category to save money. It shows you the job market. And then test scores and acceptance. So I like to talk about test scores because remember, guys, two-year colleges have an open admission policy, which means you do not have to take the SAT or ACT to get into the school. If most They call it different things in different states. You just might have to take a compass test. I know in Georgia we call it compass test, placement test. So the University of South Carolina has an acceptance rate of 61%. They have an acceptance rate of 61%. It's pretty hard to get in there. I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go there either, paying 24 grand a year, let alone paying 6,000 in tuition. It's crazy. 6,000 per semester. I was just saying in graduate school, I don't even pay 6 grand in graduate school. My girlfriend doesn't even pay 6 grand in graduate school. She pays probably about 5. But it's graduate school, and she's in the health area, so health always charging because they all their little magnifying glasses and tubes and all that lab coats and stuff. They just being extra expensive. I'd be like, can I bring my own lab coat? Can I bring my own goggles? I can reuse them. I'll clean them. So, but they also, University of South Carolina does not require, they do not require SAT, ACT. So be careful going there. They're trying to get you there. They've been a strong school. I don't think they would miss anybody. Making all that good money they're making out there, down there compared to me, they're up there. Yeah, to me they're up there. They're up there. So please keep that in mind. And so yeah, I would rate the University of South Carolina a D. D. Yeah, they are a D. I don't have nothing. I don't have a notepad. But yes, they are a D. Why are they a D? Because, like I said, simply their tuition is 6 grand in the South. And I don't know who their Noble alumni are off the top of my head. They could have some very good Noble alumni, but I'm pretty sure their Noble alumni are athletes. If I looked up Noble alumni at the school, I could be wrong. So their Noble alumni right here, we got. I'm not pronouncing her name, y'all, but I'm pretty sure y'all know who this is. She's a conservative television host and author on Fox. So I've seen her before. Yeah, she's popular. I've seen her before. I don't watch Fox like that, but she's very much. Lindsey Graham, is that? Lindsey Graham, he did pop up. He did pop up. This is what I was talking about on G. She, yeah, he's a senator. He's very popular. I should know him, huh? I should know him. I was looking at her right now, and then where is Lindsey Graham? Is he still a senator? Oh wow, he's still a senator. Wow, I thought this man was not working. He's 69 years old. Fun fact. He born and raised in South Carolina. He been in South Carolina his whole life. Wow. So guys, I emailed my academic advisor. Yeah, she's on Fox. I seen her. You know, how you just flip through, or cause what I do, give y'all guys an insight of my lens. So what I do, I subscribe to left. I subscribe to left wing media outlets, which is like Bloomberg and others that come up, and then I subscribe to right wing. I said, yeah, I said it right. And then right wing like Fox, Pat David. Y'all heard of Pat? You heard of Pat David G? I think I would say he's conservative, right? He's very conservative. I subscribe to him. Like I keep it mixed because everything is with perspective and views. And honestly, I think both some have good takes on both. But most of all, when they talk about higher education, when we keep advancing our equipment and upgrading, I can't wait to talk about them. He said, yes, I heard of him. He's more libertarian. And so, yeah. And so I like to, they everybody like to have their perspectives on higher education, but nobody ever worked in higher education or really like took the time to even try to go to school about it and really see how it should be. Like I said, it doesn't make money right away. So nobody really, well, people know it make money because it's a $1 trillion industry. But to stay on topic, yeah, I see a lot of athletes. I see some athletes in here. I see some people. I see more athletes. Yeah. See some people in here. I don't know. But you get the point. You get the point, right? And so, yeah, the University of South Carolina is a D. Um, if you got the money, of course, you want to listen to me, you're going to go there anyway. And it's not going to make a difference. But I wouldn't go there. You definitely should start at 2 year and look at other 4 years in the South. You should look at other 4 years in the South Carolina area that has good prices. Um, yeah, they're a D. They are a D. And how much time we at? What we at? It took some time. Once again, start the 2 year, bridge to 4 year. Make sure you go to a school that you can keep up with when you purchasing, as I call it, your purchasing power. At the time when I was an undergraduate, I'm just reinstating some things. When I was an undergraduate, we are at, oh yeah, let's not hit the 2 hour mark. We right there. When I was an undergraduate, I made sure my purchasing power was under $2,000, which means either right at 2,000 or under 2,000. So I made sure like my 2 year, once I started catching on, I had good prices already, but I wasn't paying more than 2,000 per semester, right? At my 2 year. It was 1,500 at most. And then when they went up a little bit, it was probably like 1,700. And so that's some game right there. Then my university guys, it was a little more. It was about 2,500 per semester. And so that was doable because I was working full time at my university. And then, like I said, with military money, not military paying for my school, but military money. Because I'm not the type of person to have a skill. Like, if you feel like you need a skill, I can feel where you're coming from. I didn't have like a side hustle per se. Like some people have these crazy side hustles while they're in college. I wasn't that type. Um, my side hustle was the military because I was brought up, like I said, I went to a school that had a Booker T. Washington model where I'm trying to get out of that phase of having to use my body, my vessel to make money. And so that was really like and subscribe, please, like and subscribe. That was really like still hard to transition out of because all I did sports. So in sports, your body has to be there. I'm used to being in places, not doing things from the distance. I'm used to having being hands on, and everything they were showing me at my high school was hands on. And so we trying to get out of that place now. So I can relate to you. That was one of the reasons why I was like, this would be a good side hustle while going to school to make money. So, G, I see you said something while I was talking. Yeah, I'm sure if I didn't have the opportunities I had access to, I think I would have did the 2 year route as well. Appreciate that, most definitely. And then, Alice Marie, did the military influence your 2 year journey? No, no, not being stern, but no. Um, the two I was already at the 2 year before I did I was already at the 2 year before I went to the military. The 2 year had something to offer me. They had medical benefits. As we know in America, medical benefits are very, it's medical. Everybody can relate. It's terrible. And so they had something to offer with that. Because my brother-in-law, he really recruited me. I really just had to pass the test. My brother-in-law was like, he paid this much in dental, and he paid this much in like healthcare, like going to the doctor and stuff, like monthly. And it was only like I'm kind of advertising the military right now, but it's only like $65 for both. And then I said, cause I'm like 19 at the time, guys. So I'm like, how much do average like most people pay? He was like, man, most people pay like 200, 300 if they got families, more. I was like, huh? He was like, yeah. And I'm a little frugal, a little cheap person sometimes, all the time. So I was like, that's a good deal. And then he was telling me how it worked because of the branch. I'm working my way to telling y'all the branch. I'm working. Some people might have an idea what branch I'm in, but he was telling me like the branch, and so it's pretty smooth. And so I was like, okay, okay, okay. And so G said, yeah, I spent most of my childhood under TRICARE, but I literally never went to the doctor. You was a healthy baby and a healthy kid. He said, my folder, my paper folder thin. Yeah, that's good. That's good, G. You didn't have to go to the doctor that much. That's really good. That's good. Stay that way. That's good. Go before, as I tell people, go before things get bad. Go before things get bad. When your check engine light come on, go. If you know something ain't normal, you haven't been doing it, go. And so that was my situation because my 2 year wasn't really offering. It was weird though, because my 4 year offered insurance. I do think if I would have went to a 4 year, I think I told y'all this before. If I would have went to a 4 year first, I think I would have never went to the military because apparently 4 years offer you insurance. Gee, did your college did Columbia offer you insurance when you went there as a student or Alice Marie? Because I see both of y'all in the chat. Did y'all university offer y'all insurance? See, yeah, okay. He said, yeah, they did. See, I didn't see. My 2 year didn't do that, so I thought I was stranded. And he said, yeah, I got it for free. Oh, look at that. That's a nice right there. Full coverage. Oh wow. Oh hey, he went to Columbia though. They got that Columbia money out there. Columbia G like G said he went to school. He was trying to go to school that was gonna pay him. And so he was on that I think G was on that academic track. G was on that academic track. He said they charge a arm and leg, so you know LOL. Yeah. Cause they just to stick an IV in your arm, you paying about $1,000. It's crazy, right? Alice Marie said, "Yep, but I didn't need it." See, like I didn't know universities cover you on insurance. I think that's a blessing. My 2 year did not do that. At least I didn't know about it. First and foremost, I did know you can get your teeth clean. For people that don't know out there, you can get your teeth clean at your 2 year college. You can get your nails done. I used to get my nails done at my 2 year college, and then that was only like cheap. It was cheap, like $25 or something. It was real cheap. That's for like Feet and hands. That's for like feet and hands. Yeah, yeah, they don't. Yeah. And you can get for 25, I used to get my nails done for like 25. Feet and hands. Very cheap. Very cheap. And so dental, I didn't really because I had joined the military, but they'll do your dental too because they be needing patients to get the hands-on experience with. So you was a practice run for student. I was. They were good though, because a lot of times, the students, a lot of times those students already was doing it. Like they were already trained, but they were like just getting certified. They were just getting certified, and so it was that was pretty cool. And then I remember one of my peers, he blew up. He was doing hair at the 2 year, and he became like a celebrity. He's like I would say social media celebrity per se, where he does the hair, laying down edges and stuff. So that was pretty cool to see his come up because yeah, and he started at a 2 year college, and people don't know too. I don't know how it is in other areas. Stop going to the mom and pop schools to get certified for like hair or barbershop, because 2 year colleges offer those too for way cheaper prices, obviously, because 2 year colleges are cheaper. But when you go to these mom and pop schools to do like barbering, nails, or whatever, you're paying more money. You need to go to a regular 2 year school and get certified because it's going to be accredited and cheaper and better. So, um, he would say the same thing, same about you. Nah, I'm not big. Nah, I'm not big. I'm more. That's the whole reason why I like the education sector, the higher education sector. It doesn't bring no attention to me at all. I was hesitant at first because want I didn't want no publicity. Just want to help people. Like if you know something, like it's amazing. Like you have so many people who know this information already. G and Alice Marie, so many people know this, but what I mean, you just think about all the people who didn't say anything. Like we all about the same age, right? And nobody said anything. So then if they come in this live screen and try to like, oh no, that ain't correct, da 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 da, I'd be like, where were you like 10 years ago to help us avoid this situation? Why you didn't say nothing? Because you was making so much money that you was like, it ain't gonna never change. People gonna keep going to college. People will keep going to college. Don't get me wrong. But if they know they can make a different decision and start at a 2 year and bridge to a 4 year, because most kids don't even know about a 2 year. They don't even know they save $10,000 and more if they break down the numbers. And then G said, I call it either blissful ignorance or malicious awareness. Ooh, malicious awareness, blissful ignorance. Gee, let me find out if you be rapping in your spare time. I'm writing that down though. Blissful ignorance. I'm taking that. Yep, I'm taking that. G. I took that from you. And so started 2 year, bridged to 4 year. Can't stress it enough. And so we at the end, we hit our 2 hour mark, which is perfect. Appreciate Alice Marie. Appreciate G. And then G said something else. I'll keep going as long as G keep going. The first you should heard before the second, I kind of just made up as a yang to that yin. Please, by all means, make it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It still came out nice though, the way I flowed it. I appreciate Alice and Marie and G though. I appreciate y'all in the chat, man. The chat is always better with people. I can't stress that enough. And if you don't know anything, please say something. Or comment, because no comment is a crazy comment. Like they might try to be piranhas in here in this comment section, but uh, it's it's all friendly, man. And so I'll edit and work. After this, edit, check the market, see what's going on, because I do not know what's going on right now in the market. I don't know what. I think the markets are green. I have no idea. I'm gonna check that, and then I'm gonna start editing these videos so I can start working on this playlist, because that is my goal. And doing the normal, typical stuff. See what jobs out there. If nothing happening, keep live streaming, of course. Staying consistent, and we'll keep going. So I will see you all tomorrow. Appreciate you all. As we say, peace and chicken grease. Because we are Southern, I guess. We like chicken and grease. But I like baked chicken. I don't do chicken grease. Hurts my stomach. Oh, peace.